In this video, I'll show you how you can get started creating a calculator like the one you see on the screen. I'm going to put two numbers in, 45. I'm hitting the down arrow to get to the next text box. I'll put in 55. I'll click on Add, and you can see I get a total. If I click on the Reset button, I will clear these text boxes. The arrangement of these components on the screen, you can see in the component designer, there's a table arrangement, which is here, which has 2 columns, 1, 2, and 3 rows, right here. There is a horizontal arrangement, which is for this one and also this one. And I have 4 buttons in this one. And I'll have that centered. You'll see how it works. In addition, you'll see how we can make sure only numbers go into these text boxes. And we'll use something special with the Reset button to actually clear these values. In addition, we will make a setting to prevent any entries into the result text box. Let's get started. Okay, here's our component designer. There's our screen. That's all we have. I've put a title of Calc on it. And what I'm going to do is, in the screen arrangements, I'm going to choose a table arrangement. And I'm going to say I need 2 columns and 3 rows. And I'm going to make it as wide as the screen, filling the parent. The parent is this. There's the parent, and the table arrangement is a child in the parent. What I'm going to do now is fill that with a label on the left, here you go, and a text box next to it. There you go. Now, it turns out that the way AppInventor works, it lists the items in the order they were created. So I'm just going to pause the video here to change and type in all the labels, something like this. Number 1, I'm going to make it right aligned, and I'm going to change the font size to 20, and I'm going to make it bold. There you go. I'm going to rename these LBL number 1, and name this one TXT number 1. I'm going to make sure that these numbers are right justified, see, right here, and to force or allow only numbers to be put into that text box, I'm going to check off this text box. So I've made it a bold font. The font size is 20. I'm going to leave this hint for box 1 here, but when I put all the rest of the text boxes here, I won't do that. I'm going to pause the video while I do some fix-up. Okay, during the pause, I fixed a typo. I renamed all of the labels to start off with LBL, and I renamed all the text boxes TXT something. Now, look at this text box. I have a hint there. Font size is 20, and it's bold, and it's enabled. This one is about the same, but the hint is gone. This one, however, is not enabled. The reason it's not enabled is I don't want the user to be able to type anything in here. All of these text boxes have the text aligned on the right-hand side the way you expect in a calculator. What I'm going to do now is put a horizontal screen arrangement over here. I'm going to make it as wide as the parent. Okay. And I'm going to put buttons on there for the plus, minus, etc. So I can find the buttons here. That's going to be my plus button. I'm going to make that size 40. And I'm actually going to put an image there. Sorry, in real life I'd put an image there. Here I'm just going to use that with, so it would look something like this. Okay. I would rename the button so it would be easy for me to remember what it does, and I would call it button add. I'm going to pause the video to throw the rest of my buttons in over here. Okay, as you can see, I've made a few changes. I've added some buttons. Here you go. There's the add, subtract, multiply, and divide button. Each one has the text that you see on there. So there's divide, multiply. I've set the font to be 60 and bold. I don't have any images on there. And all of these are aligned centered on their button, but if you'll notice, all the buttons are on the left-hand side. And that's because on the horizontal arrangement, the alignment horizontally, the horizontal alignment is on the left. If I make it right, there it's that. I can center it. Okay. So I have these buttons. All I need is one more button, and if you'll just give me a moment, I'll put the reset button on there. Okay, there's my reset button, and you can see that I made a large font and bold. It's centered, and here's my horizontal arrangement number 2, and it also is centered. At this point, we can't do anything. We need to actually work with the block editor. So here we go. Here's our block editor, and I very conveniently set up a screen initialize. And what I really want to do is I want to make sure that all the text in all the buttons, all the text in all the numbers is set to null, essentially no text whatsoever. So I can do that with all of them. Let's go take a look at the, oh, that looks pretty good. Okay. At this point, nothing will work because there's nothing behind the buttons. There's no logic. Looks like I've made it, oh. The reason these have different sizes is because this one is expecting a hint. If I go back to the blocks editor and I remove this, we should see that the, well, let's see. When you enter text, the keyboard comes up. I'm going to say done. instead of putting my cursor here and clicking, I will hit the up arrow key and I can put something in there. Okay. Plus sign will not work because I haven't created any logic for it. Switching to the blocks editor, what I will do is I will say that when the add button is clicked, what I want to do is I want to send the result text to be equal to, I'm going to delete this, yes, some math. I'm going to set it equal to, watch this, oop, wrong. The value of number 1 and the value of number 2. And the way I do that is use this number 1 text, number 2 text, and the result should be put into this. Let's see if it does. See if it works. Oh, sorry. Let me save this. Oh, it's saved. And it works. Reset doesn't work because I haven't done that yet. So let me see what happens when the reset button. Oh, I forgot to change the name. You can see how difficult that is. So I'm going back to the component designer and rename that to, this isn't necessary, but it's easy for me to keep track of what's going on. In the component designer, I take my button. When it is clicked, what I do is I, watch this. Save. Check my device. And I'm going to just hit the up arrow key, which puts me here without the keyboard showing up. Put a number here, hit the down arrow key. Hello. Where am I? 56. Click on plus, I get a value that should be right. Click reset, and it's done. So, if I try to get to the results box, I can't click here because you'll remember that in the component designer, I set this one, this text box, so it's not enabled, so I cannot click in it. So, once again, taking a look at the calculator, here we go. Put a value here. Click on plus. We get our answer. I'll leave it to you to fill in what needs to be done for minus, for subtraction, multiplication, and division. If you take a quick look at the blocks editor, you can see you're going to be doing something similar, except instead of a plus sign, you'll choose minus, multiply, or divide. Good luck. Post some comments if you need some help. Thanks.